problem faced by the ministry is national e-sport is underestimated by people. Why? First, most people in Malaysia are still confused by the term e-sport itself. Second, many people are still confused about what it is and why it is considered as a sport. The image of the video game and e-sport development industry need to be corrected. And lastly, many video games developers and e-sport athletes are talented, but there is no definite direction and they are not sure if they can make a living in this industry. Next is why video games still receive a bad impression in the eyes of most parents around the world. There are so many talented video game developers in Malaysia, but they don't know exact direction that can reflect Malaysia's identity and culture for overseas market. E-sport industry is faced with dilemma of lacking real direction in Malaysia. Who is involved? First, e-sport player, and the second one is Minister of Youth and Sport. The impact is players are given less opportunity to showcase their talent as not many prestigious tournaments are organized. Planning is a step to achieve appropriate goals easily before acting. If we don't play before doing something, a very important thing that help to achieve something desired will not be located when they are needed without any analysis of how often resources need to be renewed. Important. First, to achieve goal is clarify shortcoming and strength. Second, define the resources sufficient to fulfill objective. Third, planning provide a sense of duty. Fourth, uncertainty is minimized by planning, and the last one is prepare for possible situation. There are three types of planning, which is strategic planning, tactical planning, and operational planning. Facilities a training center for athletes to use in the future as part of preparation program. This facility will be a training venue for e-sport athletes so they can do a preparation for 2021 Vietnam SEA Games and 2022 Asian Games. It may be used to prepare any tournament because it has virtual reality and simulation feature. Example of components such as computer, racing simulator, Wi-Fi, break room, and mobile game. In collaboration with ESI will focus on constructing an integrated framework by launching the following activities according to an official press conference. Short term. First, build the official e-sport hub. Second, encourage more athletes, and the last one is platform to manage the upcoming tournament. Long term, build supportable e-sport ecosystem. Second, find sponsorship that can give major impact to viewers' attention, and the last one is coach service. Parties are involved: Ministry of Youth and Sport, Malaysia Esports Series (MES), and Esport Integrated (ESI). Time frame: it estimated to end in 2022. The objective is to form a better community among Malaysians while enjoying the harmony of e-sport, for the athlete to catch the opportunity to get known and success at the international level of e-sport tournament. And lastly, to bring positive impact on economy in Malaysia.
In this issue, the problem that faced by Minister of Youth and Sport Datuk Seri Rizal Merikanayana is national e-sport is underestimated by a group of society. So here, the organization from the Ministry of Youth and Sport needs to work together to figure out how to change the public's perception of esports. As we know, among the mission of the Ministry of Youth and Sport and its organization is to increase public understanding and awareness of the youth and sports development policy. Among the efforts that can be done by the organization of the Ministry of Youth and Sport is to discuss and draw up a plan to provide a complete infrastructure for the use of e-sport athletes. Among them is to provide a special building complete with sophisticated gaming equipment, such as monitors, mic, keyboard, and hearing aids. In addition, this device should be checked every month to ensure that no problem and unwanted things occur, as they are electronic goods. Next, they can advertise in the mass media platform that are frequently used by the people about the benefits and how much profit can be found to raise the national economy from this sport to achieve the organizational goals for the sport at Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter of Ministry of Youth and Sports. Next, with the division of tasks, every employee in the units of the Ministry of Youth and Sport know about their duties. They can do their job to achieve the objective of raising the name of sport in the world. For example, each representative of youth and sports officer in each state can create sports competitions such as PUBG and Mobile Legends and provide lucrative remunerations and spread the words about esports in their respective states. The concept of work that can be carried out in this case is decentralization. This is because it refers to the big subject of empowering the state government. So this concept is very appropriate because the task has been given to the state government to raise the name of esports. Apart from that, the ministry can also cooperation with other countries and bring great esports players to the match, such as Muhammad Hakimi, Lee Jae-sun, and Adam Shah, to win the match so that this mission is achieved and this esport game is highly regarded by the community. So it is very important that this organizational structure is created to ensure that the organization runs smoothly. Besides, the ministry organization that manage the game can also discuss and hire one talented coach in this field to educate their men. It aims to train players in the right way to compete with other countries in the future. In addition, coach can also reveal and practice great techniques so that they can play more agile than before. In this case, the concept work can be carried out is departmentalization. In this concept, of example, financial bright can manage to find and pay a coach to train players to be more professional and so on. Lastly, the Ministry of Youth and Sport can also set up committees to monitor matters related to program of sport to ensure activities are implemented in accordance with established policies. For an example, this committee can provide support and encouragement to sports groups and promote sport to the people so that the people know the presence of sport of this new era. Therefore, the world people will know about the existence of this sport and will be interested in it, especially in this day and age all human beings only focus on the internet. So it's not impossible for this sport to go to a higher level. For this strategy, the concept work can be carried out in this case is centralizations. This concept is referred to the process by which activities involve planning and education.
So now I'm going to talk about the chapter 4, which is the decision making. The concept of decision making. Decision making is an act of making choice among all the obtainable alternatives. So basically, there are innumerable alternatives that made by the Ministry of Youth and Sports time by time. So decision making is very important to pursue the path that have to discuss. It is because an organization cannot operate well if the decision is not taken at the right time. So therefore, decision making is problem solving by choosing specific barriers from all the other alternatives to solve the organizational difficulties. So basically, there are a lot of decision making made by the Ministry of Youth and Sports to manage the issue regarding the national esports that are underestimated. In terms of principle, firstly, by setting priority, the Ministry of Youth and Sport should set the priorities that needed by the athlete of esports. For example, the ministry should take an action by building a hub for the National Sports Academy. So the purpose of the hub is to establish a training center for the athlete for their upcoming tournament. It is also to enhance their skills on gaming. This resulting to the National Esports Hub in Bukit Kiara that designed by the Majlis Sukan Negara, Jabatan Belia dan Sukan, and also the State Esports Organization. The next principle of decision making will be acquire relevant information. So in general, acquire means to obtain or to develop relevant information. So it is to provide other alternative if the main plan having a problem or doesn't work. Other alternative that can take by the Ministry of Youth and Sports is by introducing a sports course in sports school. As in Malaysia, we have the sports school which is the Bukit Talian Sports School. It is to encourage all the youth into healthy engagement so that they won't waste their time by playing game without doing anything. Young athletes can also receive proper guidance at the school as the ministry aspires to develop younger athletes in future to represent our country. The last principle of decision making is to proceed methodically and carefully. This means that the ministry should be aware of any problem and take an action before it really happens. For example, in the year of 2020 and 2021, the pandemic causes the athlete to lose their sponsorship. So the government should increase the private sector and the international investment. It is by initiate state level of esports tournament. It is because in order to join big tournament, they require high cost for all the esports equipment. By initiate small tournament, they can provide the opportunities for the investor to see the improvement of the app. So next, besides the principle of decision making, it also has the condition and the type of decision making. First is the condition, which is the certainty, and the type of decision making, which is the program decision. So the ministry already know what will happen in the future, or in other meaning that they already predict earlier what will happen in the future. So they did the investment incentive program for the sponsorship. For example, the athlete lose their sponsorship because of their lack of the performance. So they carry out marketing campaign to attract all the publishers by promoting the esports. It is also to promote the growth of the local esports in Malaysia, and we need to attract more international events to be staged in Malaysia. It is also to keep the sponsorship to stay and state the benefits of esports, so that all the local players have the opportunity to work alongside with the international event. Follow up, the next condition is the risk. The minister know what the risk of the outcome when the predict is lower. Since esports is still barely known among all the citizens, so the ministry should take an action by proving the perception of the esports to the public. We can educate the public about the code of esports. It can be accomplished through the esports festival and game event that are conducted by the MDAC Level Up KL. Besides, we can show the previous achievements and success of the athlete, so that it will change the point of view of the public towards the esports tournament. Finally, the last condition is uncertainty, and the type is the non-program decision. It means that the ministry can't predict what the possible outcome. Because of the pandemic, the corporate sponsorship in the esports industry were cancelled in the 2020 and 2021. So in order to overcome this issue, the ministry can hold an online tournament for the esports. This can be done by publicly show that the esports tournament can be conducted through online. We can expose the advantage of esports unlike other sports that cannot be held through online. So in conclusion, all of the esports tournament can still be conducted through online even during the quarantine time.
I'm going to talk about definition of controlling. So, controlling function can be defined as ensuring the activities in organization are performed as planned. Controlling also ensures that organization resources are being effectively and efficiently for the achievement of preset goals. Next is the importance of controlling. Controlling allows irregularities to be discovered quickly and corrective action can be performed. Controlling also helps to accomplishing organizational goals. Besides, controlling helps managing expenses to not over budget and avoid loss. A good controlling system always helps a company become more efficient and effective. So, here is some strategies that Minister of Sport and Youth use to control the issue of e-sport in Malaysia. The first step is by appointing a professional coaches, managers and a few effective crews to make sure that the battlefield and the players are always under control. A professional coaches helps to develop strategies and analysis opponent. A coach also helps to growth of individual skill of the players, team cohesion, in-game strategies, motivational responsibilities, and having a good manager helps to control budget, financial expenses, and find a sponsor. Besides, manager also helps to arrange a program for the players to improve their skill or strategies. Last but not least, managers also helps to schedule the players' games or the training. Effective crews helps to control any technical problem that might happen during the games or the training, such as internet problem, PC problem, or the controller problem. Other than that, the crew's duty is also to check all the equipments, either it is good or not, before the games begins. Minister of Sport and Youth also managed to control the internet problem by taking an action in budget 2019. They announced that they will reduce fixed line broadband price by the end of 2018 and allocated 1 billion for the National Fibre Connectivity Plan to boost. Other than that, Minister of Sport and Youth also successfully controlled the issue of lack of sponsorship and involvement from industry players by finding a bigger sponsor such as AirAsia, who have announced to build e-sport hub located in Kelang. By having this big sponsor, it will make more people interested in e-sport either to play or to sponsor. Last but not least, to encourage teenagers in e-sport, Minister of Sport and Youth has provided sufficient mentors and programs to train and find a future talent. In conclusion, e-sport game is a sport that provides a lot of space and opportunities for youth who used to enjoy playing video games to fill their free time, turn into a professional career. Through e-sport, there are also many benefits that can be found. Current generation can increase their knowledge about developing a game and in technology. In addition, e-sport can also improve communication skills. Through e-sport, there are also many benefits that can be found. Current generation can increase their knowledge about developing a game and in technology. In addition, e-sport can also improve communication skills among youth. Let us young people respond to the government's call so that e-sport can be serious sport that can be brought to compete on the international stage like the footballs, badmintons and tennis. Next, the government needs to provide more e-sport academics and expand it at various levels such as primary and secondary. Exposure and demonstration needs to be intensified to attract more youth to get involved in e-sport. Last but not least, e-sport is like a knife. If we misuse it, it will become bad, but if we use it prudently, it will become a tool to increase knowledge.